What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day. Now, I'm coming on here actually Wednesday night, so we have a pick for Thursday Night Football, and then I have a pick, actually a couple of picks on Rebet. And the reason I'm coming on here Wednesday night is because some of these games on Rebet are happening tomorrow, like right at noon or at 1 p.m., and there is a massive opportunity in Rebet today because they just actually launched their esports betting, and there is actually some errors that they have, okay? So, again, there's a huge opportunity right now in Rebet, and I wanted to get this video out. I want to get these lines to as many people as possible. I already sent it out to my VIP, and a lot of my VIP members, some of them already have Rebet, some of them didn't, and they got signed up and they got an extra month. So you guys are going to be able to do that too. So Rebet is something I actually talked about yesterday, and it's legal in most states. So it's legal in 46 out of 50 states. And again, all you have to do is put $10 or more into Rebet, and you'll get one free month of the VIP. There's actually a link down below in the pinned comment, and then there's also my number down below, and you can pretty much just put $10 or more into Rebet, get that free month of VIP by just texting me a proof that you did that with my code, which is detective in all caps. You could also just text me, and yeah, it's really important that you get Rebet because we are going to take advantage of that a lot if they continue to release these error lines, especially in the VIP. So if you're in the VIP, you kind of need Rebet because I'm going to be playing some entries on there, for the foreseeable future, right? So I will also say down below in the pinned comment, there's just going to be a straight up 80% off discount that is going to have 10 spots. Okay. So, before I get into some of these picks that we set up, and then I'm going to get into the Rebet plays, and then I'll get into the PrizePicks plays. I've noticed that some people, they'll text me and they'll be like, hey, straight up, like, some of these apps I already have them, or I don't want to sign up for them. Like, can I just straight up get a discount? Like, I like what you do. I like your plays. So that's going to be down below, 80% off, no questions asked. You just pretty much put money into where my VIP is, which is winnable. And then you get all of my plays texted straight to your phone, no questions asked. And I think that should be like $50 for you or something to get 1 month of the VIP, probably less than $50, like $45. I will say, I was very hard at work today getting so many plays out. So I probably sent out like 8 or 9 plays. If you get into the VIP like right now, like tonight, you can actually go through my VIP and probably take all of the plays because some of them are happening early in the morning, like 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. So if you want to get access to like all my Wednesday picks that I just sent out all today, a lot of like none of them have really happened yet. They're all happening either tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, like really early in the morning. So you can just take all my picks. So I probably sent out I sent out probably 10 picks, like 10 4-mans. And then we are already set up very well going into the weekend, right? So these, I'm not going to check mark everything, guys. You see it, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 setups already and counting. And then, a lot of these setups are with a big strategy that we're using called correlation, which is something that we've done for a long time now, close to like 20 months on this channel. But you can actually now do a little bit different in Counter-Strike, and we have been abusing it. So we're taking Counter-Strike, we're taking college football, we're taking first half college football plays, which I really like. It's been hitting extremely well. One additional shout out is Asia Wilson's discount did hit with Crownie, so that's nice to see. And again, I don't want to come on here and say that all we ever do is hit because we definitely don't. Sometimes we miss. Actually, like back in August, we had a pretty bad month, and I was here on this channel talking about that. So that does happen. And here are some actually misses, right? So this is part of our correlation strategy where we take things to go over together or under together. And in Counter-Strike, it's pretty much a longer game equals more kills, a shorter game equals less kills. That's pretty much the extent that you need to understand it, okay? If the game goes into a long game, that's going to mean a lot more kills. If the game is a very short game and it's short and sweet, that means less kills are going to happen. Kind of makes sense, right? If you're not in the game very much, you're not going to take very many kills. If you are in the game a lot and it just keeps dragging on and on and on, then a lot of kills are going to happen. And here's actually some examples of where I took the overs and the unders hit, and then I took the unders and the overs actually hit. This game in particular went into overtime. So, overtime, very long game in overtime, and there was a lot of kills that ended up happening in those overtime periods. Same thing here. I take the overs and I take the unders, and again, things hit together, right? That is what we do on this channel. If you don't know, we're also very profitable on this channel using this strategy, and everything I do is tracked to the T every single day. All right, guys. All right, so as promised, let's get into the actual error picks of Rebet. Now, I'm going to do my best to explain this. It might be a little bit complicated at times, It's not super complicated, but I might not do the best example of explaining it here. So the picks right here are Colossal Gaming to win at least one map, and then Rossman Centurions to win at least one map, okay? Now, these odds are completely off. As I said, they're error picks. They're about like 300 to 400 points, odds points, wherever you want to say, off. This line should probably be more like maybe like plus 120. Which is way off. Like, that is completely off. That's pretty much a 50-50 shot, other than this being, this is like a 20% chance of happening, if not even less. And then this line right here should be like maybe minus 250 or something like that, okay? So you're pretty much getting the odds at 50-50, and this is a way, way, way higher chance of happening than what the odds are actually saying on Rebet, okay? As you guys can say, I am playing $40 to win close to $100, so I'm actually positive in the money when this should be minus 250. Now, the best way to explain this is these are best of 3 series, okay? So these are best of 3 series, and how best of 3s work is you have to win 2 out of 3 of these games, okay? So now we are betting on, if you look at the wording, we are only betting on these guys to win at least one map, okay? So if we look at the things that could happen, right? You could have a team maybe winning game 1 and then actually losing game 2, and then maybe they win game 3, okay? Now it'd actually be winning the best of 3. But in our case, we just need this team to win one game. So maybe they lose game 1 and then they win game 2 and then they lose game 3, and they would lose the best of the 3 because they lose the best of 3 series, but they would still win the bet, okay? So a better way to probably explain this is what are the scenarios that can happen, right? You can go 0-2, so you don't win one game. You could win one game and lose the other 2. You could win 2 out of the 3 games, and you could go ahead and win 2 out of 2 of the games, so you win the best of 3, right? So you go 2-0, right? So it is pricing it at the odds of this right here, winning the best of 3, which would be these 2 scenarios here, where you actually take the W here and you take the W because you're winning 2 out of 3 of the games. Now, the actual thing that is worded by is just winning one of the 3 maps, okay? Which would mean that you have 1 win here, 1 win, at least 1 win here, and at least 1 win here. So actually the scenarios are these 3 scenarios, okay, guys? And I can actually prove to you why these odds should be like this with another game, okay? So I couldn't find these exact odds on another sports book, but here's another sports book. It's called Thunderpick. It just has some odds on these different sports. And again, don't mind these names. We have like a lot of different stuff. I know this is complicated. A lot of stuff's going on this screen, but just think of this, right? We have this yellow team and this red team happening in League of Legends in a couple of days. It's happening in a couple of days. Again, doesn't matter. It's just another game with some other odds. This is a completely different game, in a completely separate part of the world. But this team right here is actually minus 154 to win the best of 3. If I click on this, it'll probably be like, match winner. So they're winning the best of 3. And then this team is plus 110 to win the best of 3. So this is actually the underdog. They're slightly, they're not favored. And then this is actually the favored team right here. But if we click into the odds, we can scroll down. We'll get a lot more information about this. And if you scroll down here, what do you know? You'll see here on this book, you have Furex to win at least one map. So this was the yellow team, as I said, and they are minus 500. The odds right now on this book, which is correct, this is the correct odds of what it should be like, is minus 500 to win one map. And then the red team, Nongshim Red Force, is minus 270. I don't know why I can't speak. 263 on this sports book right here. Okay, guys. So what do you know if we have a team that is, this is it, right? Like I said, it's pricing it like they're winning the best of 3, but all they need to do is win one map. So this is why this odd should actually be like 250. Okay, it's absolutely insane. This is a crazy error that they have on Rebet right now. So again, I don't know how long this is going to last. If that made absolutely no sense to you, go ahead and text me. My number's down here in the pinned comment. You guys can sign up for Rebet there. That'll also be a way to get my VIP for 80% off. And you guys can send me any questions you may have about this. For this type of stuff, guys, now, is this what we completely base the VIP and winning off of? No, not errors like this. Rebet's probably going to fix this in the next couple of weeks, I will say. But like I said, you could get Rebet. You can get a free month of my VIP. They actually give you an up to $100 match. So some of you guys, and I've been doing this long enough where it's like, you'll be surprised. Only like 15 to 20 of you guys will take advantage of stuff like this, okay? Where you you would think maybe like 100 people or more would take advantage of this, but not a lot of people take advantage of this stuff. You need to be the people that fight for this type of stuff and are able to really capitalize on this type of stuff when there are massive value discrepancies like this, okay? Value discrepancy is the best way I can put this. Now, you can get Rebet. You'll get a $100 match, up to a 100% deposit match on $100. So you can put $100 in if you have it. You can get a 100% deposit match. So you start with $200. You would put money on both these plays. I'm going to have more of these plays if these keep coming out. And you could legitimately start a Rebet account with like $300 to $400, and because these lines are so off, okay? And then that's just going to be kind of another side pot, another side hustle that you can slowly build up bankroll with on Rebet, okay? So again, it's good to have PrizePicks as your main betting thing, right? PrizePicks, I love it. I bet 95% of my plays are on PrizePicks, but these different apps are really important to have in certain situations like this, all right, guys? So again, hopefully that makes sense to you. These lines are way off. They're pretty much priced as winning best of threes when it should just be priced as winning at least one map. And again, I'm proving it here with odds like this. Again, I do this day in and day out. I know how these odds work. You have a very similar game being played against these two teams, and the odds are close to minus 250, right? And again, this line right here, in my estimation, should be like minus 250, okay? Crazy stuff right here. I'm going to be putting as much money as possible on these entries, and we'll see how these go, all right? So again, it's not a guaranteed win by any stretch of the imagination, but they are like 300 points off, okay? So it's almost like you're taking some, it's almost like you're taking Rams money line. Like Rams are like minus 400 to win against the 49ers, and you're taking them at like even odds in this game tomorrow, okay, when they have so many people out. So again, if you want to get into Rebet, that's going to be in the pinned comment, and let's go ahead and get into the PrizePicks entry. So this is going to be the play of the day for NFL. We have Thursday Night Football. We have Kyren Williams to go over 16.5 rush attempts, and then we have Jake Tongs, I believe is how you say his name, to go over 4 receiving targets. Now, if you don't know about this game or the 49ers and what they're going through one of the worst injury luck streaks I've ever seen a team go through. They have their starting quarterback out, Brock Purdy. They have Jawan Jennings out. They have Ricky Pearsall out. They have Brandon Ayuk, who's been out a while. Jordan Watkins, who is actually a rookie, so it doesn't really matter. But they legitimately have Mac Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Kendrick Bourne, and Demarcus Robinson, and then Jake Tongs as their tight end. Oh, by the way, George Kittle is also out. So they legitimately have all of their top guys on the 49ers out. Everyone is out. They're a completely different team right now. So with that being said, I do think the Rams are going to win quite easily. I think the Rams are going to be the same old Rams and have an absolute elite offense with Puka, with Devontae Adams, and I think it's honestly going to turn into like a night off for Puka. I kind of like Puka's under. I kind of like Devontae Adams under, but there is no way I'm going to touch Puka Nakua's under because he is on absolute fire. I would feel very dumb to take his under, and then he puts up like 14 receptions against me, and I lose my entry here. So what I'm actually doing instead is I'm taking Kyren Williams over 16.5 rush attempts because with the simple fact of we think that the Rams are going to win, right? Because the 49ers are just completely decimated from an injury perspective. So I think the Rams are going to win. And what happens when a team wins? They run the ball. They run in the fourth quarter, in the third quarter. When you're winning by 10 plus points, you run the ball over and over and over again and try to end this game, okay? So I think Kyren Williams is going to run like crazy. And then I think the 49ers, if you're losing a game, so I think the 49ers are going to be losing, then what does a team do when they are losing a game? They pass the ball like crazy, try to get back into this game, okay? So I'm pretty confident in Kyren going over. I just think this is going to be a day where Kyren just gets a lot of garbage time rushes, and then Jake Tongs for him to go over. Now, there's a lot of random players right now on the 49ers that you probably have never even maybe heard of before and stuff, but Jake Tongs does seem pretty consistent. I'm taking him over. If you wanted to take Mac Jones over pass attempts or something like that, that would also be pretty decent. I think the only thing that I could see going wrong here with this 49ers play is if all they do is like run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. If you guys kind of watch the Jets game on Monday Night Football, they seem like they really stuck to a run-first game plan just with like to their strengths. And I could kind of see the 49ers doing that, just like trying to run the ball. But you also saw with the Jets at a certain point in that game, whether they liked it or not, and again, this was the middle of the third quarter and we actually barely missed an entry by one pass attempt. Still not salty, or still kind of salty about it, but at a point in the game, the Jets, even though they ran like crazy, it was like they were in the 1920s, they at some point had to pass the ball. And Justin Fields had 27 pass attempts, and when he only had 11 at the middle of the third quarter. So about that middle of the third quarter, when you're losing by like 13 points or 10 points, you start sweating and you start going, hey, we actually got to start passing this ball like crazy. And then the other team's like, hey, we're just going to run this ball out and try to win this game and just get back onto the plane and go home, okay? So, this is going to be the play. Again, this is very correlated, as I mentioned earlier in the video. This is what we do on this channel. This is what we do on my VIP. I take plays together that make sense. Okay, so probably the easiest way to explain that is with football, right? I have Carson Beck over, and then I have Malachi Toney over, right? This play makes complete sense together. If Carson Beck throws a 50-yard pass to Malachi Toney, then his line's going to be like right here. He's going to be like right here at 50 yards, and then Malachi Toney is going to be like right here because he just got a 50-yard completion to him. Okay, so these guys make sense together. The more that one player is doing well, the other player is going to do very well. And sometimes you'll take the unders. Sometimes I take the unders. Sometimes I take the overs. You'll see the unders here on Florida. You'll see the unders here on Alabama, for example. So unders, overs, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes players do very well. And again, this player, his number one receiver is going to do very well with him. Or if a player does not do very well, like the quarterback, then the other player is not going to do very well either, okay? So I feel like I explained a lot in this video. If you guys understood any of that, please leave a like on this video. It really, really helps me out a lot. It is October. I cannot even tell you guys how focused I am, how ready to go I am. We have a lot of setups already, and we haven't even hit close to the weekend yet. We still have all tomorrow to be sending out entries, and we have the whole weekend to be sending out entries, really. But very set up. Again, I don't know if these plays are going to hit or not. Who knows? You know, if some of these players are going to go over, and how this Miami-Florida's game's going to go or whatever. But at the end of the day, all I can do is play correlated slips that we've been doing for about a year and a half now, and hope for the best. And over a long period of time, these things normally do play out very, very well. Okay, so at the end of the day, a couple of things, guys, is get into the VIP with Rebet. That's going to be your easiest way. It's a $10 deposit. And honestly, if I were you, I would put $100 in because you get a $100 match on your money. So you'll start with $200. And then I would probably play like $25 to $50 on these lines because they are that good. And you'll probably turn that $100 into, or that $200 that you're starting with into like $300 or $400 pretty quickly. And then we'll just kind of keep scaling up from there. So I'm literally giving you a strategy with Rebet today where you can put $100 into Rebet and you could potentially turn this into $300 or $400 like overnight and have a $300 or $400 bankroll on Rebet that we're going to keep rolling that over and over again. Okay, so again, do that. If you have any questions, you can text me. That's going to be in the first pinned comment. There's also going to be a code for 10 spots into my VIP for 80% off that you guys can just sign up for. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's have a great weekend. I probably won't be making like a video tomorrow because I'm making tomorrow's video right now. But again, I'll see you guys Friday morning, bright and early, and get some more plays for you guys going into the weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you then.